Today is Remembrance Day, when we honor those who laid down their lives for us. But there is one serviceman in particular who seems to have been forgotten or remembered only in a negative light, Officer William C. Hopkinson. Hopkinson was an immigration official in Vancouver in the early 1900s, where he ran an intelligence gathering operation on Sikh extremists. He was assassinated inside a courthouse by a Sikh militant after enforcing Canada's immigration law and preventing a ship carrying unauthorized Sikh passengers from entering the country. Here's a clip of his assassination from the film Guru Nanak Jahaz, which was funded by the Canadian government. When he runs out of bullets, he pulls out his second pistol and continues firing into Officer Hopkinson's lifeless body. Although Hopkinson was not a military serviceman, he died in the line of duty, upholding the law, whether one agrees with its morality or not. Today, the assassin Mewa Singh is celebrated by many in the Sikh community, and even by some Canadians, as an anti-racism freedom fighter.
In 1916, Mewa Singh Lopoke, who was a Canadian Sikh, assassinated General Hopkinson in Vancouver for what Hopkinson was doing to the community at the time. Mewa Singh Lopoke stood up and said, I want to be a good Sikh, but I'm also a good citizen of this country. And if this country is to mean anything, if its democratic principles and values are to mean anything, then there is sacrifice that needs to be made. That people need to stand up for what's right, what's truthful, and that is what a Sikh will do. Ultimately, he assassinates Hopkinson, but for Canadians, he's a shaheed. He's a martyr. He's somebody who actually stood up for the truth, and he knew he had no way out. But today, we have that path, which is to advocate and to educate and to inform the public. And so for me, Mewa Singh Lopoke has always been somebody who's an inspiration for me, and it's what guides me when I talk about these types of issues.
No, Mewa Singh was a criminal of the highest order.
But not Bob Rai, a former Sikh who left the religion over what he calls its growing extremism. He describes it as a once peaceful fate hijacked by the World Sikh Organization. Mr. Rai, who was Mewa Singh to you?
Mewa Singh was a criminal that was executed and hanged here in Canada in the early 1900s for committing murder of a Canadian immigration officer. Mewa Singh ran a terrorist cell here in Canada, in Vancouver, British Columbia, for the Gadar Party. And the Gadar Party was an extremist organization that was given a terrorist designation by the United States in the early 1900s.
But according to the Sikh community and their leadership, Mewa Singh is an absolute hero. What does that mean?
I don't think that the Sikh community should be looking up to any of these types of criminals, bandits, organized crime, extremist groups, and terrorists. It makes the whole community look shameful. One of the reasons I stopped going to these Sikh temples is all of them are full of pictures of terrorists that they make their congregations believe that these people are freedom fighters. And you know, you don't want to go to a place of worship and have to look at bandits, criminals, terrorists, and believe that these people are freedom fighters. And in Canadian history, now it is being distorted by many people. They are writing books and making movies, and that this Mewa Singh was a freedom fighter, and he fought for the good of Canada by assassinating a Canadian government official. And I think that this is completely disgusting and shameful and should have no place in Canadian society.
And I want to ask you about your opinion on the federal government, your tax money funding this movie.
I think that the extremist World Sikh Organization has corrupted the complete entire uniparty ecosystem in Canada, as well as very high positions in bureaucracy all over the country. And when I see gangsters like Jazaraj Halen or, Tim Uppal or Harjit Sajjan pandering and proliferating World Sikh Organization fake ideologies onto Canadians, it doesn't surprise me. These racial bigots that have to play dress up every single day in order to gain an advantage over Canadians, they serve no purpose for Canadian society. Their only objective is to pander to their ethnic, religious, extremist cult.
Now, everyone is talking about the new Canada Post stamp featuring a Sikh soldier. People are saying only 10 Sikh soldiers served in the Canadian military. So why are we pandering to this community so much? Are you of the same opinion?
I think that this Canada Post stamp with this cartoon image of a Sikh on the front of it, I think it has no place in Canadian society. And I think that it is a shameful act that Canada Post would promote this on the good people of Canada.
Why? Why? Did the Sikhs not serve in the military? Do they not?
I don't think that there was a Canadian Sikh, at least the one that they claim, this Private Bukham Singh, that served in the Canadian military during World War I. They've had many controversies. They've had to change the headstone of this grave because the math didn't add up. And the whole background story of how this Sikh historian born in Africa, that's a Sikh, traveled to the United Kingdom, and he was wandering the streets of London where he came across his medal, a Victoria medal, and he looked at the back of it and he seen that it said B.A. Singh, and he traced it back to a graveyard in Kitchener, Ontario. And the whole story, it just seems so illogical, but through nonstop World Sikh Organization promoting and uniparty Canada government pandering, including from the Prime Minister Stephen Harper, they made this entirely bullshit story into something that now they're dedicating Canadian stamps to. And I find this absolutely shameful.
I want to ask you about community oppression. I know this is common in Islamic communities, and I believe it appears to be common in the Sikh community as well. You're speaking out against the agenda of the leadership of the Sikh community. You're calling the people, they put up their posters inside their places of worship, terrorists, bandits. How would you be treated if you were still part of the community?
I think that the Sikh leadership nowadays globally is illegitimate. I don't think any of them deserve to be given any recognition because they are all part and parcel of this extremist terrorist ideology. And I would never be a part of this, and that's why I left there what I call a cult, because they try to control individual opinions through fear, violence, and intimidation. You're allowed to hold collective opinions in these types of fake religions, and I feel that I don't want to be a part of it.
I understand. I also want to ask you about Harjit Sajjan. You know, he served in the Canadian military, and he was made into Minister of Defense. He is a very high-profile Sikh Canadian soldier. Do you not see him as a worthwhile member of the army who served Canada?
In 2015, when Trudeau won the election, he had massive support from this extremist Sikh organization called the World Sikh Organization. They had a whole bunch of their henchmen made into high-level cabinet ministers like Amarjit Sohi, Harjit Sajjan, Navdeep Bains, other Singhs and Kaurs that affiliate under the World Sikh Organization. Harjit Sajjan is just a frog-eyed bandit that brings nothing of substance to Canadian society. I don't think that he should have ever been made into the Defense Minister of Canada. I personally know many members of the military and the Air Force here in Canada that were disgusted and ashamed to see somebody like Harjit Sajjan made into the Defense Minister of Canada. And I think that the ethno-religious pandering that the Uniparty does here in Canada is disgusting and shameful.
Do you think that pandering is more harmful than helpful to the Sikh community?
I think that it is more harmful because everyday Canadians see through these people now. And they, as soon as they see somebody with a turban, with their face camouflaged, with a big beard, wearing a big sword on their side, they automatically assume these people are criminals, drug smugglers, organized crime, bandits. You know, is it really worth it? Do we need to have these types of nefarious people elevated to high-level government portfolios and made into high-level politicians here in Canada? I mean, can't the Sikhs find anybody of true moral substance?
Well, let me ask you this. Can a Sikh Canadian become a politician, a member of parliament in Canada without aligning with the Khalistani World Sikh Organization?
No Sikh can ever win an election here in Canada without aligning under the World Sikh Organization, because every single Sikh politician in Canada wins from a Sikh ghetto. There are many ghettos here in Canada that are only Sikh, and only Sikh politicians win from these ghettos. And the World Sikh Organization has a stronghold on them ever since that they were complicit with the 1985 Air India bombing tragedies.
Mr. Rai, I appreciate your insights, and I would like to ask you a final question.
Sure.
And that is going to be, how do we fix this?
We fix this by coming down on these high-level political criminal organizations that are operating here in Canada. And I think that we need to stop high-level, white-collar organized crime that's being run from our government institutions and government buildings, and that would be a starting point.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mocha.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this conversation, please consider donating at mediabizargan.com/donate so I can lend more microphones to voices within communities that are being oppressed or try to be silenced through intimidation and fear. Thank you very much.